The Savage Model 99, chambered in .308. Today on Average Guy Gun Reviews. Hey guys and girls, thanks for tuning into the new channel. I'm Mike, and this is Average Guy Gun Reviews. Quick little bit about me. I'm just an average blue-collar American, and I like to do reviews on firearms. I like to enjoy my Second Amendment right. So what I figured is I'd share some reviews on weapons I own, weapons friends own, as well as different tools, different products, and just different items that circle around the Second Amendment. Everything that I'm going to show you on my channel are either firearms that I personally own or friends personally own, or if we eventually get to that point, I get on loan from a firearms dealer in order to do a review on it. Every product that you see me doing a review on is a product that I have personally purchased. It is not something that I'm sponsored by. I have no sponsorships. Almost every single item that you will see on this channel has come out of my pocket in order to bring this video to you. So, for the start, we are going to bring out an American icon, the Savage Model 99. My personal model is a 1967 E Series. It is chambered in .308. So let's get started with this. Before we can even start speaking on the 1899 or 99, we first have to speak of Arthur W. Savage himself. The man was a Kingston, Jamaica native who came to the United States sometime in the 1870s, I believe. And by 1879, he had filed patents for a hammerless lever-action rifle to be produced. He was going after a military contract. His first rifle that he produced was the Model 1892. It was for a military contract, and he was actually awarded a contract for this gun by the New York State Guard. Unfortunately, due to political intervention, the order was canceled. And at that point in time, Mr. Savage concentrated more on his Sportster version of the 1892, which would later be produced as the 1895. What is very interesting about the 1892, the 1895, the 1899, and the 99 themselves were these were the first ever hammerless lever-action rifles to be produced in the United States. What that basically means is, obviously, you don't have a hammer on the back that you have to cock in order to fire. They also are capable of loading safely and firing what is known as Spitzer ammunition. For those who aren't, familiar with it, Spitzer ammunition is pointy-tipped bullets, or ballistic tip, whatever way you want to call it. Most lever-action rifles back in the day had a tube that would go under the barrel, because you would load into the side of the receiver and you would have the bullets going nose to tail all the way up. You could have 5, you could have 7, whatever your weapon was designed to be able to hold. But the concern was when you put a Spitzer tip to the back of a round, as you're chambering, you could end up striking the primer and causing a round to explode in the tube, which would be obviously catastrophic to the weapon and could injure or kill someone. So Arthur Savage came up with what is known as the rotating spool magazine. Now I'm going to try with this flashlight and bring the gun a little closer to show you what that is. Inside of the rifle, as you can see down in there, there's something that basically looks like a little corkscrew spool. And essentially what that does is that allows your rounds to rotate inside of the receiver and you hold 5 rounds just like you would with a standard revolver. This allows you to be able to repeatedly chamber and fire Spitzer rounds. Another interesting key feature of the 99, I'm pretty sure it's on the 1892, the 1895, the 1899 as well, is the downward facing bolt. This, designed by Savage, allowed these rifles to be able to handle higher pressure cartridges. The Savage 1899 and 99 were chambered in a very wide variety of different rounds, anything from 22 250 to 22 3000, 25 3000 Savage, all the way up to 410 shotgun. There were over 700 SKUs available by the end of the run of the Model 99. That's just how popular this gun was. There were almost 2 million Savage 99s produced from 1899 until their final run in 1998. Earlier models had the brass spool inside, where mine is stainless, and they had a cutout on this side of the rifle which had a round counter. Each time that you would rack the action and load your next round, it would count down from 5 all the way to 0. Later models had tang safeties on them, whereas the earlier models and even the later E models, like this is, had a very simple slide safety action that would lock your lever as well as your trigger to avoid it being fired. Almost every 1899 in the world that's ever been produced has little loaded chamber indicators, so that way you know your weapon is loaded and you shouldn't touch the trigger unless you intend to kill what's ever in front of it. This weapon became a hunting icon, especially when the 300 Savage and 303 Savage rounds were introduced. They were very effective rounds. They were almost as fast as 30-06, with minimalistic differences in ballistics. There are people that have hunted black bears with 300 Savage chambered 99s. They're absolutely amazing weapons. The NRA actually has the 1,000,000th Savage Model 99 that was produced. This weapon was made in 1960, and it was decorated with ornate gold leafing all over it and presented to NRA. And the NRA has it in their curator's museum ever since. This weapon was discontinued sometime in the 80s while Savage Arms was going through their reconstructive phase in order to try to save the company. They were worried about running out of business. The weapon was brought back sometime in the early 1990s, and the final model was produced in 1998. And this was due to the cost of manufacturing the weapon versus the profit from the sale of the weapon. Unfortunately, the Model 99, although being an extremely iconic weapon because of the way the weapon chambers, because of all the working mechanisms inside of it, it became a firearm that was more expensive to manufacture than it was worth to keep around because of the profit margin you could be able to make off of it. Keep in mind, in 1963, when the E model came out, the E was valued at, I believe it was $102.50 for just the rifle itself. The scope, which is a 4x32, I believe, this actually is a Bushnell 4X Banner scope, has weaver rings on it. The Savage 4X Banner scope was $39.50 extra. So for under $150, you could have an extremely effective weapon. In later years, years, it became more expensive to produce these guns. People weren't buying them. Everybody wanted the bolt actions. Everybody wanted the semi-autos. Everybody wanted to stray away from the lever action concept. But that does not take away from the fact that the Savage 99 was one of the most iconic firearms to have ever been produced in the United States, and was one of the longest running firearms in the history of Savage Arms. This specific model has, I believe it is a 22-inch carbine or carbine length barrel. It weighs in at roughly 6.5 pounds, if that. It's very, very easy to shoulder and get your sight on. And of course, load and take your shot. I have personally fired this weapon several times since purchasing it a few weeks ago. I'm accurate on it easily at 100 yards without an issue. With the scope, I have gotten shots off thus far up to 300 yards without a problem. I'm going to continue going forward with it and seeing just how far I can personally get this gun to go with the original setup. But that's all we have today with regards to the Savage Model 99. Thank you for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. We're going to start rolling out some more here and there. Alrighty, thank you very much.